Hey everyone, it's Anthony Allen Ramos. All right, the mystery series, One of Us is Lying, brand new season is out now on Peacock. And let me tell you, it's a little scary, it's a little sexy, it's thrilling, it's fun, it's all of the things. And the fans are loving it and wanting more. Jess McLeod stars as Janae, who this season we also saw really figuring themselves out, coming into themselves. And I know it's a storyline that is very close to Jess's heart, and I'm so excited to be chatting with Jess right now. How are you?
I'm really good. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. You know, this show, I always want more. We'll talk about that later. But I think, the whole season is out now on Peacock. The fans are very loyal. The fans are, they've got a lot to say on Twitter. What's it been like to see the reaction of what people think about season 2 so far?
It's been really fun. It's funny that you mentioned Twitter because Twitter is the place that I thrive.
Yes.
In terms of the social media engagement of One of Us is Lying. So it's been really cool to kind of reconnect with everybody that was so active last season. There's some new people, which is awesome. And yeah, people seem to really love this season, which is what we hoped for.
I love that. And for your character, I mean, for you as well in real life, to be on this kind of parallel journey, and just to give everyone up to date that may not be, your character is non-binary, uses they them pronouns just like yourself in real life, IRL. What was it like for you to be in this moment with yourself as a person, but then also get to put this out, with art on screen?
It was a lot of things. I've never been in this situation before where I have put so much of myself into a character that I'm not writing. Mm-hmm. So it was exciting and scary and hard and all of the things. When I was kind of going through the beginnings of my gender journey and kind of I started out being gender fluid, so I felt like they, she, and he pronouns were all appropriate for me. So at that point in my journey, that was when they started writing season 2. So I kind of came to the showrunner, Erica, and just said, hey, I think that this feels really right for Janae. And Erica was like, yep, I think that they probably saw that coming too. Like, I don't think it was a secret. So I put that forward at that point, and then they decided to kind of go forward with the gender fluidity, even though my identity kind of solidified as we were starting to shoot the season, where I felt most comfortable using only they, them pronouns. Mm-hmm. But I think that was... And they did ask me if I wanted to just use they, them pronouns for Janae, and I kind of felt like, I don't know that I've seen representation of somebody being like fully gender fluid and using all 3 of those pronouns equally on screen so far. So I thought that was perhaps exciting and made a ton of sense for Janae, like more sense than I think it makes for me. So I was really excited about that. And they set me up with Scott Turner Schofield from GLAAD, and they kind of reached out to him and gave us like our own little private conversation. We talked for, I think, like an hour and a half, 2 hours on the phone. It was really helpful and insightful. Like, he just had a lot to say about what I could expect and what I should prepare myself for and how best to keep myself feeling supported during the time of, like, because it's not my story, it's Janae's. I think that they really imparted upon me like the importance of being aware that ultimately it's not my story, and to really like let go of any sort of outcome that I felt really strongly about. They were like, the writers are going to take what they want to take and they're going to leave what they want to leave, and just please be prepared for that. And at the time I was sort of like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then they were so right that that definitely was a thing that I struggled with a little bit during the season, just because I had no real ownership over the story, even though the writers did ask me a lot of questions and they kept me pretty involved. But at the end of the day, it's a different story than mine. It's a different character. Right. So I think that was so helpful, and I'm so grateful to Scott for kind of leading me through that experience and for helping me out there. Yeah.
No, I love that, because, you know, GLAAD, what we do, obviously, when there is a great show like yours, we want to celebrate it and amplify it like we're doing today. But also, before that happens, we get in, you know, behind the scenes to make sure that people like yourself feel supported, and as they're navigating, you know, their journeys with, and, you know, it's obviously in a more public way. So I'm really happy to hear that you've had a really good experience with that. But also, to think when you went to the showrunner and had such a positive response and a welcoming response, you know, because I'm sure that doesn't always happen, you know, whether it's any idea or thought about a character, you know. So what was it like just to kind of have that kind of welcoming experience?
You know, it was so nice to be given such agency with the character from the beginning. I think that even in season 1, like, I was the one who brought to the writers that I thought that Janae was gay, and I kind of explained my reasoning, and they were super receptive to that. I think that these writers, especially in season 2, have really noticed and taken in who we are as people for all of our characters, and put a lot of us as the actor into the characters, which I always think reads so well on camera. I think you can really sense it in the relationships that really sing on the show. It's like there's some truth with all of them in who we are as people. So I think it's really exciting to work on a show with a writer's room that's so committed to like honesty and authenticity, and that's really fun, especially in a show that's like so crazy and so scary and thrilling and mysterious and all of those things. It's nice to have it grounded in a place that feels true to us as actors. I think that's really exciting. And then as we were moving into more of the filming experience, you know, I've talked to so many other non-binary actors in the last year going through this process of just, it's really hard coming into a show that you've already done for one season as presenting as a woman, and then having your pronouns be she, her, and then coming into the second season and having all of these crew members that I've already worked with for months and they know me one way, to then have to come in and kind of rewrite that narrative. And I mean, that's hard in life. That's hard for anyone who's going through a gender transition. It's like, it's a lot of presence, and it's asking a lot of you to kind of every day correct people and every day come in and say, hey, this is actually who I am, and like, please respect that. Because it's a big, you know, it's a shift. It's a shift for everyone that we're all trying to make in the culture right now. And I think it's happening slowly, but it's honestly, it was really tough and very, an interesting challenge, surely, coming into season 2. So I think in terms of that, I hope that as we move forward in the future, for everyone exploring their gender and everyone exploring who they are, I just hope that we can have more conversations about how to incorporate fluidity when we're talking about people in the workplace and when we're talking about people in life. I hope that there is some sort of like mandate or way forward for like corporations to kind of help people, help their employees be more communicative and open about gender and how to make people feel most supported and affirmed. And
yeah, and I think that's so important, because like when I hear, if I'm in, you know, a group and someone that just says you guys, and it's made up of any various possibilities. It's like, it's so easy. Like for me, I just, my new thing is I always say y'all now, because I mean, I'm just talking to everyone, and like, and
y'all too. Yeah.
and I think, you know, just even those little things go a long way. It shows respect. It shows that you're open to, you know, understanding, you know, anyone's thing. So I think that's, I think you're so right. And I hope that, you know, GLAAD we really can go in there and you know, with workplaces and stuff, and also, you know, educate people on set and all that too. You know, with GLAAD, ultimately what we do as a media advocacy organization is really, you know, push for and make sure that there are accurate depictions and representations in media on screen and beyond of the LGBTQ community. You know, you mentioned that Janae, someone like them, really hasn't been on screen before. What would it have been like for you to have had something, a character like this for you to watch, maybe when you were a little bit younger, you know, still exploring yourself and accepting yourself, you know, for who you are?
I think it would have made all the difference for me. I certainly grew up in a place that wasn't necessarily conservative, but I just didn't see a lot of queer people where I was. There were no conversations about gender, really. I didn't know a single trans person where I grew up. And then as I got older, I mean, I remember meeting the first non-binary person that I ever met, which is still a really close friend now, and I just was like, truly, I realized like so many things made sense in that moment. And I feel like if there had been representation on all of the TV that I watched when I was a teenager, which was a lot, it would have been life-changing. It would have been huge for me. So I feel very, very grateful to be platformed in this way on the show, because it does reach so many young people, and it does, it is something that is not about gender. So I think the way in is a little easier for people who maybe don't even know that that's what they're looking for. So that makes me feel really excited.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, you know, the show itself is, you know, it centers around teenagers, but I know that not just teens are watching it. So there's also the opportunity for someone tuning in or streaming it to see Janae's story and be like, huh, I never knew that or fully understood what that meant, and now I do, and you know, it's not what I thought. And so there's also the impact for that too.
You're so right. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I know it's like, you know, we just got season 2. Everyone wants more already. I know we don't know if season 3 is happening, but if it does, which we hope it does, have you given a thought on what you hope happens, whether it's for Janae or for, you know, the rest of the group? Because I think everyone's got their fingers crossed.
Yeah, I feel like in season 3, with the whole group, I mean, I'll give it to the writers. Like, they always pull out something that I completely don't see coming or expect. Definitely I'd like to think that I'm ready for whatever they choose. But I think for Janae specifically, it's kind of exciting to me that they're headed off to this private school. This is a spoiler for season 3, but that's fine.
It's out there, right? At this
it's
point.
out there. It's fine. They're heading off to a private school, and I think he's going to be really forced into a box, and I'm not sure what that's going to do to her, but I'm curious to see the journey in that context, and kind of without the new safety blanket of Murder Club. I'm curious to see what they become and in what ways they grow and in what ways perhaps they regress. I'm really curious to see that journey. Yeah.
I would love that. So let's just put it out there. We want more Janae. We want more. Yeah, I love that. But until then, everyone, just a reminder, you can catch all the episodes, both seasons 1 and 2 of One of Us is Lying. They're all available to stream right now on Peacock. Jess, so nice to meet you. And I'm just so happy for you that you're in this really great space and you get to have a really great outlet also to express yourself with. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon, and fingers crossed for season 3.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much to GLAAD. It's been really cool collaborating with you guys, and I look forward to more in the future.
Absolutely, our pleasure.